Hi, and welcome to another controversy episode.
No.
In
In
5D.
No. Going home.
You are home.
You don't know that.
That's true. I don't know that. I've never seen your home up front and personal.
This
Except
could
for
be
that one
so-
time I
I
shat
could-
in your living room
I could break into somebody else's house
every single
every
week.
for this, and only Klops would know. Klops has been here. So I think it looks different since when Klops was here.
So what you're saying is that
Probably.
it's
Not
some
by
poor
much.
old lady's bingo night, and you're just like running around with no pants in her house.
Yeah. Actually, it's a green
So-
screen of some random guy's bedroom.
So is your favorite YouTuber basically homeless?
Is that really a thing?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
a dude
so
who lives somewhere else.
So welcome to another episode. We got a bonsai above me this time. We got
Oh.
Klops below me,
Hi.
and yeah, we're doing it again. There is actually a controversy, but for once, none of us can actually comment on this because I think we all boycotted this movie. Did anybody
Oh.
watch Joker?
Oh, is it out?
I thought so.
I wouldn't say that I'm boycotting Joker. I'm just not really interested. It doesn't look that good to me.
I was gonna kind of watch it. I just didn't know it even came out.
Okay, so and then there is a controversy, and it's way too premature then, because apparently it's not out yet. This is like pre-controversy then.
Okay, so what's the issue?
So
Yeah.
so the issue is there are people saying that this is going to be a bad movie because it victimizes single white males and what their abuse could turn a person into and justify.
See, you know what sucks about this is now I can't even not like the movie because I just don't think it looks very good. Anytime I go, yeah, I just don't want to see that movie. It doesn't look very good. People will be like, "Oh, is it because of this thing?" No.
Yeah,
it's
that's what
not.
kind of
I
sucks
just-
about a
I
lot of this
just
stuff.
don't think it looks like, based on the trailer that I saw, I don't really like Joaquin Phoenix, and this is just kind of like this. You know, what would be a great origin for the Joker is everything sucks, and then he just goes crazy from it. Okay, and he was a clown. Okay.
I
Like
mean,
that's an interpretation. It kind of was one of the origin. This is a take on one of the origins of the Joker. It's just not one that looks interesting to me. I just don't care.
well, that was the thing when I watched the trailer. It was like, does this have to be a Joker movie? Like,
Right.
it didn't seem like it needed to be a Joker movie. It looked like it would be an okay movie, but then they just put the Joker behind it, and I was just like,
This
oh,
could
okay.
he didn't even have to be a clown. This could have been about anybody having a breakdown and kind of like falling into his performer job. This could have been about an evil mime. This could have been about a guy with a fucking puppet. It's only the Joker because they're saying this is a movie that was written to be Oscar bait movie, and then they slapped Joker on it to make some more money. I legitimately think this is one of those times. You ever heard like, oh, this movie was actually supposed to be this other movie, and then they kind of retooled it. I legitimately feel like this was some script this guy had floating around, and some producer went, ooh, if we said this was the Joker, this would be good. And that's how they picked it up. I'd put money on that. Legitimately, I would put money on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't, mostly because at this point where DC was going to, this doesn't even fit within their entire world anymore.
Right. And it seemed a little too quick for anything they'd been planning. Like, they would have had to have admitted that their style was not working a while ago for
Yeah.
this to be coming out already.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I just saw the article and I was like, are you kidding? Like, wow. Okay,
So
whatever.
I think me and Klops can agree that we disagree with the article, but we still don't really give a shit about the movie, and we're still
Yeah,
probably.
I'm in the same boat.
like,
Like, I don't.
Klops, will you see it in the theater, or will you wait till it's out somewhere and see it?
I don't know. It depends on what else is out. So that's kind of like my drawing point of like movies is like, I
If
go
it's
see
all
the
it's
ones that I really want to go see, and then like if it's like the next couple weeks where I've already seen the movies that I wanted to see, it would probably be one on my list that I would go see in the movies, because my thing isn't so much that I won't go see a movie in theaters because I'm boycotting or whatever. It's that my dad and I like to go watch movies together. And so it's really just a father-son bonding time. And he is pretty open to like watching most things,
Okay.
you know? So he would probably enjoy it somewhat. And I would probably find some enjoyment in it. But it's not like one that's on my super like, I need to go see this in theater, you know, kind of thing. It's more like, I'll see it if it's in theater maybe. And if not, then I'll see it, whatever. Probably when it gets to a streaming service of some kind.
See, for me, what it comes down to for me and my wife is we're like, it's just kind of expensive. Like if we were doing it with some people, like we had a regular running thing like you did with your dad, we wouldn't mind. But while it's just us doing it, we're like, you know, we could probably watch a movie for free at home while also doing 15 other things. Some that we want to do, some we need to do, some whatever. So we really only go to movies for like stuff we're super hard into or stuff that'll be a really cool spectacle to at least have seen it in theaters. Like I didn't like Avatar, but I do wish I would have seen it in the theater because it would have been that much prettier. Like the movie would have still sucked, but hey, at least it would have been on like a dope ass TV. You know what I mean?
The other thing is like the times that you can go see it. Like my dad and I usually go catch a matinee. Right. Like we don't see it like Friday night when everybody's out and it's like super expensive or something. We may catch a movie on Saturday early or something where it's not so much matinee price. But that's just because that's the time frame it falls into. But most of the time we go see like a matinee or something, right? You know what I mean?
And because we work shitty office jobs, that's sort of just not an option. Like I'd have to take a day off to go see a movie or something during that time frame.
Yeah.
So we just don't have that. So typically like I'm reserving my movie going experience for something that's either a big spectacle or something I'm just super into.
Right.
Something like Joker, it's not so movies that like I just never saw and I'm never going to see unless somebody literally makes me watch it. Like I don't watch Quentin Tarantino films anymore. We're not getting into it. I've gone over it on a million other episodes. Go listen to one of those. But like I don't watch Tarantino anymore, and I won't watch the Ninja Turtles reboots. Not because I'm like boycotting, but again, it's just the sort of thing where I'm like, I don't care. I like the turtle stuff that I like, and then there's lots of stupid turtle stuff. Sorry, hardcore turtle fans, but there's lots of really shitty turtle stuff out there. There's bunches of it that's just not very good. There were a couple of cartoons that just weren't very good. There's whole toy lines that were just dumb. There are comic runs that were terrible. There's lots of bad turtle stuff. So I'm in for Turtles when I'm in for Turtles, and just those Michael Bay ones, I didn't like the design. I don't like Michael Bay. I don't really like Megan Fox. There was nothing about him that appealed, so I've never seen them, and I'm never going to see them. Joker actually doesn't fall into that category. The minute it shows up on Amazon for free or Netflix or like somebody gets a DVD and brings it over, it's like, no, dude, you got to see it. Okay, I'll fucking watch it. You know, I'll give it a shot, but I'm not going to spend theater dollars on it. I'm not paying for overpriced drinks and popcorn. I'm not taking 2 or 3 hours out of my day to go to a place and watch that fucking movie.
So
it's not worth it.
Can I also just be honest?
No, honesty is not accepted.
I'm tired of the fucking Joker.
Yeah, Joker's played out.
Like, I was making this comment. There's so many other things I'd love to see in a Rogues Gallery.
Yeah.
That it just, I'm so tired of it. Like, honestly, I would like a modern take on Mr. Freeze. Like, fuck the campy bullshit. Like, don't get me wrong.
Said it on this
place
podcast,
in my heart.
I've said it on Bias Bros every other Thursday at 7. Hugh Laurie as Mr. Freeze would be so goddamn good.
Yeah,
that guy can nail Mr. Freeze. I guarantee it. It would be one of the best Mr. Freeze performances out there. Absolutely.
I agree. And so, like, Mad Hatter is another one that I really want to see.
I personally really think we need to redo Riddler. The last, like, I like Jim Carrey. I didn't like his Riddler. I'd like to see a truer to comic Riddler. And fuck it, let's make it darker. Let's go real dark Riddler and make it really Saw-esque and have Batman go do detective stuff and solve puzzles and beat the Riddler.
So what's your fantasy cast for Riddler?
I think Batman is a franchise that's actually best built on kind of unknown factors. So I would love to see a good up-and-coming nail it, but if I had to choose somebody known, and hear me out on this, because it's not going to be a name that jumps to mind, and I think the knee-jerk reaction is a hard no, but if you do a little bit of that deeper dive, he can do it. Neil Patrick Harris could probably do the Riddler. and not a big flamboyant over the top Riddler.
Yeah.
The Riddler was very reserved in the comics, and I actually think Neil Patrick Harris can pull the years on Doogie Howser doing a drama. The guy has dramatic chops, a little soap opera-y, but the Riddler was always at least a scotch dramatic.
Yeah,
You know, there was always a flair to him. I think Neil Patrick Harris could pull off a pretty dark Riddler.
I would like to see a Benedict Cumberbatch.
My only problem with Cumberbatch is he's in fucking everything.
No, I
If
know,
you
but he's got
cast
that.
a shoe, you cast Benedict Cumberbatch because guy can fucking play a shoe.
But he's got that like intensity where he can be serious, but really bring in the menacing. I like that. I think he'd do well.
Klops, give me your Riddler. Just even off the top of your head, who do you think could even just do it?
I'm terrible with actors' names.
Oh, yeah, what was he in?
I don't
I'm good
remember.
with this.
I'm terrible.
I got this face. I don't know anything he's been in. You know
Yeah,
what?
like
This is a guy who sold me a sandwich once. He's not an actor at all.
yeah, I mean it could totally be that. Like honestly, like like my memory gets shot
Well, so
sometimes.
give me an act. It's not your perfect, but give me an actor you know. Who do you think could pull it off?
Let's
Not
see.
based on anything in particular. A Riddler for you. Who could do you a Riddler?
That's the thing, man. Like I just go into movies blind and I just let the visuals and the like storytelling take me away. That I don't remember any of it. Like it's just like
It takes him away so much he remembers
Yeah.
nothing of the movie.
no. Honestly, my short term and long term memory has like this like fault in it where it just like twitches sometimes and I can't remember shit.
Marijuana affects the memory.
No, it's the acid trip that did.
Which one?
The only one. I've only had one acid trip and it was
It's
terrible.
It just kept going for years, though.
I
It
think
went
it's safe to
going
say-
for like 24 hours.
Fuck that. I think it's safe to say that what Klops is saying is that Taylor Lautner should play the Riddler. So go
I'm-
ahead, tweet that at Klops Wolfbane. Go ahead, leave that on the comments section. However you feel about Klops's pick, Taylor Lautner as.
You know what? I want the lead singer from Cedar to fucking play
From
the
Cedar?
Riddler. Yeah.
He's just a really sad Riddler.
Yeah. You'd be perfect.
Hashtag Patton Oswalt for Penguin.
But he already did it.
Did he?
He was in Badman doing the Penguin.
Oh, was he doing the Penguin?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well, still.
I'm still on board.
You know what? I want Silent Bob to be the Riddler, so all of his like riddles have to be silent. Like he has to like communicate like Silent Bob.
Okay, but that guy is just Kevin.
No.
time.
Yeah. No, I don't want Kevin Smith. I want his character Silent Bob to be the Riddler.
He's all skinny now, and he has a big head. It's weird looking.
Whatever.
I'm just saying. The suit's
mean-
gonna look real awkward.
To be fair, though, the dude lost like 100 pounds in like 3
He did.
months or some shit.
No, he looks good. It's just you're so used to seeing him body big that now
If-
his head's
if-
big.
If he
got a
is
big
to be
head.
believed, he looks all flappy and weird without a shirt.
Yeah, I don't really need to see that. That's
I
fine.
mean, you want to, though. You know you do.
Mm.
All right, let's change the subject. So, we didn't get a chance to get to it last week, but Klops has been losing his goddamn mind over this video game. Klops, what video game is tickling your little gooch there?
It's Remnant from the Ashes. So this game came out a couple Remnant. It's REMNATNT.
I'm just kidding.
So this game came out a couple weeks ago. I didn't see anything really about it until about maybe 3 days before its release. And then all of a sudden everybody I knew started talking about it. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Like I just watched this video and now it's going to be here and now everyone's talking about it. So I was able to get a copy of it. Thanks to Eduardo here. And actually it's really good. It's scary how good this game is because this is from Gunfire Games, who literally has Darksiders 2, Darksiders 3, and a whole bunch of VR games under their belt. It's 7 or 8 games in total. It's ridiculous. And this game is nothing really like those. It's similar a little bit to Darksiders because it's third person, but it is very much a kind of third person run and gun game. It's also very Souls-like, so I know Bonsai will already hate it.
Yeah, I've already stopped listening to you.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah,
However,
says
it doesn't.
Souls-like, but is it actually Souls-like? Like, what are the comparisons?
So Souls-like are this very kind of like memorize, like, was it pattern memorization with going through a kind of like certain world of some kind and like finding the path routes and then like learning the story and stuff, right? It's all about like dodging and movement and sometimes blocking depending on the Souls game. Like Bloodborne is all about dodging. This game is all about dodging, so it's a little bit closer to Bloodborne and the mechanics than actual Dark Souls where you could have a block. There are 3 different classes, the only difference being the starting perk that you get. There's the Hunter, who's the sniper, and his starting perk is that he can have enemies more unaware of him when he's stealthing around. There's the ex-occultist that has, I think it's the ability to upgrade mod damage, so like his mods do more damage. And then there's the one I'm playing, which is Scrapper, which is basically the close quarters combat with a shotgun that their perk is more melee damage. So you have these 3 different classes, and so you're going through playing this like storyline of like humanity has kind of been pushed to the brink of extinction by this like alien force. I want to say they're called the Root. So they're very like tree-esque and
So
like
they're either aliens or they came from underground and they're like mole people.
no, they definitely came from another planet.
A planet
Because
of mole people.
the more I play this game, and here I'm going to lose Bonsai for the second time, the more it feels like a Destiny that I wanted.
Should I just leave?
Yeah, see, and not what was delivered about Destiny. It has unique weapons, something that Destiny promised that never really truly delivered. It has a vast storyline where you go through different worlds and like learn the different storylines and like what's happening to each one. And you work in groups of 3. You don't have to, but you can work in groups of 3. That's the only difference, is that this game is really more single player with added kind of ability to have your friends play along and play with you, as opposed to Destiny that was basically derived around that the 3-man squad and having to complete missions to do it and stuff. And it's kind of weird because like it pulled me in with the Dark Souls element, and then it kept me in there, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is really good. The storyline is actually really decent. It's not an overly complicated story. Right now, you're trying to find this dude named Ford, because there's this lighthouse that you have to get into, and you're going through basically space and time to try to find him. I'm on the 4th world now. I'm not sure how many worlds there are, but there is definitely 4 right now. And the other cool aspect about it is that you can actually re-roll your campaign. So like if you go through and you beat it all the way, you can hit the re-roll button and it re-rolls the campaign, giving you different bosses and different tile sets to go through. So you may or may not fight the same bosses on your next run through. And you can do that at any time. You can complete World 1 and re-roll it. I've done that a bunch of times. And you can keep leveling your character up and keep dumping into the skill points you get. I think there's like 72 skills that you can get over the course of playing this game. And each one goes up to level 20. So you get 1 point per level up. So you can imagine how many levels that is. Honestly, I highly recommend it. If you like a game that is very much like challenging, and you like either playing by yourself or if you have a couple friends, I would highly recommend playing this one. The only other complaint I have, which can be tweaked in a patch, is that the roll feels a little off. So like when I roll, I'm used to that Souls roll where it's very fluid depending on the like playstyle that I've gone with, or Bloodborne where you're like very fast. You're like rolling and you're getting up and you're rolling, you're getting up and you're rolling and you're getting up, with a very short timer in between of like being staggered. This one, the timer for being staggered is a little bit longer, and so that leads it to being a like kind of shittier roll. So I roll and then I have this like stagger to get up before I can roll again. And I feel that with how much this game has drawn upon the inspiration for Dark Souls or Bloodborne, they should have gotten it right. Like, it's just a little off. It could totally be tweaked. But for right now, that's kind of a negative point for me.
I feel like you picked a whole game in review and then only picked words to review it that would make the game seem like something that I would hate, like it gave my dog AIDS.
Well, I just knew that this game was not for you because you do not like Souls games. You're very adamant about how you don't like them, and you're very adamant about how you never liked Destiny. And don't get me wrong, I was not a fan of Destiny after everything was said and done. But I can't, like, I was just playing the game, man, and I was like, this feels like a better Destiny than Destiny ever was and was trying to be.
But no, not at all.
Yes, it is.
From a person who's actually a fan of the Destiny franchise, the idea of having it be something where you need fucking stamina to attack and have to roll out of shit, it sounds so fucking boring. The biggest problem with the
as a
Yes.
motherfucker.
The
No,
problem
actually,
with those
you do
games-
not need stamina to attack.
well,
You
but
only
you're-
need
you're
stamina
talking
to
about
roll.
Getting yeah. Fuck all that bullshit. If I am playing a super powered motherfucker, I want to be a super powered motherfucker, not a hey, hold on, that roll, fuck. You know, it doesn't do it for me. And the only reason I'm coming out with this is because you almost had me sold on this game when you were describing it, because it has a lot of elements storytelling wise and the weapon wise that I do enjoy. But this whole, like, it comes back to Lords of the Fallen all over again, where I was like, wait, the fuck do you mean that I need to time this shit correctly? I just want a nice hack and slash game where I can fucking punch things. With an FPS, I just want a nice fucking shooty where I can shoot things and I don't have to think about, oh, well, I gotta strategize how I'm gonna fucking like roll or move. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just...
It doesn't... I think you're overthinking that. That's not what that becomes. Like, it's not like I'm thinking, I should roll all the time because this tactic, right? It's like, oh, enemy's gonna hit me, roll. Oh, enemy's gonna hit me, roll. Oh, enemy's gonna hit me, roll, shoot. You know what I mean? Like, it's not overly complicated. When I'm talking about it being a downside and the rolling with a little staggering, it's because I'm used to the Souls games and like the roll. And there are other games that are Soul games that I feel that the roll is not on point. What is it? Fucking Noir or whatever. It's some other game where you played a white dude in Japan fighting dead samurai. I can't remember the name now. But like, I felt the roll there was shitty. I didn't play Fallen. I played Elix. In Elix, it was terrible roll system, terrible game in general. Mostly because that game was like, it's like the developers were like, you know what? Let's have this game that's really cool and everything. And they're like, oh fuck, but you got 20 levels before you can get there. Let's just throw a jetpack in there so you can evade everything as you level up doing runaround quests and then get into the real game, right? You know, so like, it's not just that. I just feel that this one is as close as it can be without being a Souls game, but yet I feel that with the inspiration that they took, they could just tweak it and it would be on point. It's not a super deal breaker. It's just something that is a negative at this point because it needs to be. That needs to be. It's Noir the Complete Edition. NIOH. Noah? I don't know. Fucking know how to say it.
Oh, yeah.
I think you mean Neo.
I don't know if it's Neo or what, but anyway,
sure it's Neo.
That's a pretty good game for the storytelling elements, but the role is shit in it. And it's Souls-like. It's definitely a Souls-like game. It has a unique combat system though, so don't rule that one out just because the role system's shit.
No. To be fair though, in the future, if whenever I hear Souls-like, generally I immediately turn off because there are a lot of elements in the Souls-like game. One being the difficulty. Two being the combat system that I just don't enjoy. I'm not ready to say that like, oh, fuck you guys for enjoying it. Like, y'all do you. It's the same reason I didn't like For Honor. For Honor required a level of engagement in the combat system that I just wasn't into.
Like, yeah,
Super not
That
into.
had other problems. That one fell out of me real quick.
But
That one.
I'm not
That's
trying to turn on while I play games. I'm trying to turn off while I play games.
I can see that. I don't know. I don't have to think about it too much, but I've been through the hazing of Dark Souls, so I mean, what can I say?
and that's
It's
just
second
it.
nature for me.
Severely white. I have no sense of rhythm, so that you hit the
Yeah,
button.
I have a really good rhythm as well. Honestly, Eduardo, I know that maybe the Souls isn't your cup of tea because of the combat and stuff. This combat is completely different. The only thing it has similar is the roll system. Everything else is really different. Like it really is play your kind of play style. Fallen is playing a sniper because that's what he likes to play, and I'm playing the upfront scrapper that likes to shoot things in the face with a shotgun. and they're completely different because his is more about standing still and being far enough away from the enemy that he can deal his crit damage, and mine is all about getting that distance closed into, which there are ranged enemies and stuff that have either guns or bows or whatever, and closing that distance and getting in and personal and dodging a lot more than he ever has to. So I mean, it definitely can switch in playstyle depending on what class and build you're going with. It's not like Dark Souls where you had to dodge everywhere all the time, no matter what class you were, or the only exception being that you were like a dad build and being like super tanky and blocking everything.
Okay. Yeah, I like Destiny. I've liked it the whole time. It is nowhere near perfect and nowhere near what they promised it was going to be. Like, I will agree, but I will say that the combat is not one of the problems I have with it.
I found the combat a little bit boring in Destiny after a while, but that's neither here nor there. I think I fell out of looter shooters like that. This one doesn't have the looter shooter element. It definitely has, like, when you beat a boss, you get an item that you can create something with. Sometimes it's a mod, sometimes it is a different weapon, but it doesn't have that aspect. I feel that the storyline and even the like setting and even what you're doing in it, it feels a lot of like what Destiny was trying to do and failed to do. And that's why I actually really like this, because it's what I kind of wanted.
Okay.
Right? It does have the Souls elements, and there's definitely parts of it that look like they're like from like fucking Dark Souls. Like when you go into a boss fight, there's fog in front of the fucking door, and you enter the fog like you do in Dark Souls, which I think is crazy that it's the same. But other than that, it has its own feel to it. The only difference being that this one has some timing elements into it that make it feel kind of Dark Souls-y, and it can be punishing at times. We fought a boss on a fucking bridge that was just stupid because it summons a second one of itself on the other side. So now if you were playing by yourself, you have to worry about these two different bosses. Luckily there was two of us, so we each focused on one boss and then killed one because they were damaged enough, and then focused on the other one.
Yeah, more power to y'all. I don't think it's for me. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna maybe watch a playthrough just to really see it instead of just hearing it, because it could be different, and then check it out that way, because I don't want to shell some more money for a game that is just gonna sit there. I'm looking at you, For Honor, you piece of shit.
That's fair. For Honor sits there for me too. But I recommend, if you are going to look up a stream of it, look at it one like co-op, because that's actually where I think the better experience is. The other note to be had is that there's no anti-cheat in this. There are people that do mod their games, and then sometimes it was a big maxed out in their skills. Other than that, though, there was no other difference. You can't drop items to anybody or nothing. So just sort of a wise random playing. I think they might have fixed it now, because I think they changed it to where no matter what the level is of the person coming in, the enemies are only 2 levels higher than the person hosting that game.
Yeah, and the thing is that even nowadays, with the little time I have to game, banking on a game because multiplayer is going to make it fun isn't good enough anymore. But yeah, I am going to see some playthroughs just to see.
I think that's where the real bread and butter is. I think the same with Dark Souls, though. Dark Souls, people are like, oh, I play it by myself all the time. I'm like, good for you. That's not the experience I had coming into it. That's what made it so fun, was that I was playing with my friends, and that it felt more like a D&D game than it felt like this punishing game, right?
Yeah.
You had the mage, you had the cleric, you had the fighter. We were going.
And actually, so give it a rating then.
I would probably give it 4.5 Souls-like games out of 5, because it's pretty close to being pretty good.
I think
kind of okay.
Yeah, I was like, it's Bonsai and I already have in our heads that, so it's okay. All right, so you know what? There is a game though that wasn't released recently, but was released for the Switch recently that I'm kind of obsessed with.
Oh, it's on the Switch?
Yeah, that's what it was released recently on. So
I got it on PS4 and just still haven't played it.
So here we go. Spyro, the Reignited Trilogy.
Okay, well, this is my time to shut off now.
You don't like platformers?
I just never was a fan of Spyro.
You can be a fan, motherfucker. It's the first 3 games.
I was never a fan of it.
Oops. Well, this broke everything. I mean, like you didn't like it, weren't a fan, or
Yeah, like I played a little bit of it at a friend's house when I was a kid, and I was like, this game is okay.
So okay, well, fair enough. But first things first, it's fucking pretty. This isn't a port. This is like a legit HD remake. Like, I'm super surprised. Because, you know, you've seen some of the ones where they're bringing them back and it's really just kind of a shitty port. This one's pretty good.
All right.
Um,
I'm always worried about ports on the Switch because I'm always like, that's not going to work on that console. But so far, most things have. Like Diablo worked great on the Switch.
yeah, and this is not a port. This is a full. It's a full. Looks like it's a full remake. Because the controls feel natural. They actually employ the trigger mechanisms pretty good. I'm barely in the beginning, and I'm starting to see that there are certain skills that I used to have that I don't anymore. Like, I've gotten rusty on my 3D flying platformer levels. Because if you remember in Spyro, there were always those like flying levels where you had to do a bunch of stuff.
Oh, I'm going to hate it. I never played Spyro before, but my wife bought it because she was a big fan, and I've been meaning to play through it, and now I'm probably going to hate it.
So there's they're not full entire levels, but they're like I guess challenges would probably be the right term, where what you do is like you have 6 things that you need to accomplish and you're timed. So you have to fly around and destroy some barrels, and you have to destroy 8 barrels, and each time you destroy a barrel it adds more time to your timer, and then you can move on to do these other things. And part of them is like going through some gates that you need to do, and it's almost like a challenge level. It's pretty interesting, and so far I'm enjoying it, but I also remember that I haven't done this shit in a long time, and I'm sucking at it. It's, Bonza, you played DCU. It's like having a flying character in DCU and trying to do the racing little submissions. Do you remember that?
I remember I did it once and then went, oh, I'm just not going to do these.
Yeah, Bonsai doesn't know how to drive things. Actually, he doesn't really know how to drive very well in real life either.
Yeah, I just don't. I pilot my body. Why is that not good enough for the rest of the world?
I mean, because there's other shit to do. Anyways, brief description, because I think, you know, honestly, if you didn't already like Spyro, I don't know if you're just going to pick it up, although I think you should. It's a good game, and it's on the Switch. It was released for the PS4 and the Xbox November of last year, but it's taken this long to get it over on the Switch. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. You collect gems, and you have either a charge move or a fire move. Some bad guys can only be killed with the charge move. Some bad guys can only be killed with a fire move. Some of them, it's a combination of both. Hey! We're also talking about PlayStation 1 when this series started, so just keep that in mind, everybody.
I think when that was around, I was playing Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, so it's actually very akin to Banjo-Kazooie. It's the same like concept.
Collectathon? Yeah.
Yeah, Collectathon, 3D platformer, puzzles, find secret areas, find stuff, do your thing. But yeah, honestly, I'm not done with it yet. So preliminary rating is 4 out of 5. I feel like there were a couple clunky mechanics that they could have fixed, maybe, but it doesn't seem like that's what they were doing. They were just really making sure that this worked on the new platform. But yeah. Cool. So I think that's what we have for games. Bonsai, you want to tell us something that you were watching?
No!
Bonsai.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I can't see the picture you put up yet. There's
I haven't. Pick
Oh,
one.
you just want me to pick? Well, let me do one that like we're not going to talk too much about because I guess Eduardo did review it, but I forgot he reviewed it. Now I finally got around to seeing it. I finally saw Downsizing with Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Nice.
My wife really likes Matt Damon, so I watch a lot of Matt Damon. And I gotta say, like, I don't mind Matt Damon. Matt Damon's fine in most things. He's one of the better parts of the Ocean movies, actually. I like Matt Damon in the fucking Ocean movies because he's just trying so damn hard.
Yeah.
Good for him,
Yeah, he is.
Linus. But so Downsizing, it's basically... He reviewed it. Find that episode. It's basically about a bunch of people who get shrunk to help the economy, which, like, I guess makes sense, like, in a way. It kind of does, but whatever. the big issues with the movie for me, it can't really decide whether it wants to be a comedy or a drama.
Yeah.
And not in like this, like there's a way to do a comedy drama. This isn't doing that. This is having a harsh struggle between wanting to be really funny and wanting to be really serious. And it's just not striking that balance. It's kind of just doing one and then doing the other and then doing one. And it's also about half an hour too long at best, maybe even more than that. Good movie. I did like it. I say this all the time. I'm really not trying to trash it, but those are just like the two glaring problems. I love the lead actress. She's fantastic. I don't know her real name, but she's great. Matt Damon's great in it. And even the Christoph Waltz and the guy whose name I can never remember, but he plays Christoph Waltz's Russian brother. They're fantastic in it. They did really well. Like the movie's well cast. It's well shot. The concept's a lot of fun. A lot of it's pretty well thought out. But yeah, just a little too long, and really, it was a movie that wasn't sure of itself. It didn't really know what it wanted to be. I would legitimately take a downsizing sequel. Let's try it again. Downsizing in space. Fuck it. Why
Oh,
not?
that was gonna be
It's
upsizing.
fine. Upsizing, sure. People get giant to ruin the economy. I don't know. Fuck it. Fuck you.
The intergalactic economy.
Yeah, there you go. We ruled space. It's like Flash Gordon, but not Flash Gordon. So then I watched. Let's do the one I liked less first.
Ooh.
Cooties.
Yep, I actually knew that was. Go on.
2015 Cooties. Elijah Wood, Allison Pill, Rainn Wilson, Jack McBrayer, zombie comedy. Let's start with what it does right.
Oh.
It kind of feels like it's a little Shaun of the Dead-y, like almost that it could fit in that kind of world, but there's some things that make it, like, I'm not saying it does. Just it kind of feels like it's in that vein. You know what I mean?
Yep.
A fun twist on zombies, a fun setting for zombies. A lot of really good actors delivering really good performances that all just kind of add up to nothing really happening.
Oh.
It's just not really that funny. There's
That's
some
interesting.
mildly comedic moments, and then the rest of it is just kind of a paint-by-numbers zombie film with a fun twist on zombies. So the fun twist. It all starts. There's a batch of tainted chicken nuggets that go around, and we see a little girl at this school eat a tainted chicken nugget. She's getting bullied at school. She's not looking good, and she bites a kid and starts a zombie outbreak at this elementary school. Elijah Wood's a substitute teacher who happened to have gone to the school years ago when he was in elementary school. And one of the other teachers was his classmates. They have a flirty kind of thing, but she's dating the coach, dated by Rainn Wilson. And all of the rest of the cast are the filler teachers, who are just around for the chaos. Okay? Here's the fun kind of twist. It's like a batch of bad chicken nuggets, haha, tee fun. It's a zombie virus that only affects children. Once you've hit puberty, you are immune to the zombie virus. Which was just kind of like this fun twist on like, oh, it literally just affects youth. Which I thought, like, there's a lot of elements you can play on with that. A lot of people wouldn't really be willing to shoot kids, including like trained soldiers and like hard ass, like, it's hard when it's a bunch of kids. They seem to retain some knowledge. Like there were some targeted attacks, and like the zombies like play with toys and stuff, and like they basically just seem to be flesh-hungry, rabid children more than zombies. To the point where they don't even call them zombies; they say the kids have cooties.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So I like this twist. I think it's a fun play on the idea of the zombie. It's at least something fresh. It's not really explored beyond the fact that they find out that if you've hit puberty, you're immune. That's just it. You just find that out, and then we don't really explore that concept at all, which just really felt wasted. That's the best I can say. They had this really cool concept, and they went, There was that. Maybe they were banking on a number 2 or something. I almost feel like it didn't even need to be a comedy. We could have really explored this idea of the next generation's dead. You know what I mean? You have the adults, but then they die, and you can't really have more kids because chances are they'll just get infected with cooties. It's really dark. You have a lot of people who aren't willing to shoot them. A lot of like sympathy groups who will probably spring up and go, "Those are our children. We can't hurt them. We can't kill them." That's like, it's a really big concept that they do nothing with. All of the actors are delivering really good performances, but I almost feel like this could have used somebody going really over the top, and then nobody bothers to do that. So it's all just really good actors, kind of grabbing that paycheck. Elijah Wood plays the awkward guy. Allison Pill plays like the pretty, kind of quirky girl. Rainn Wilson kind of plays a dick. Jack McBrayer plays an effeminate guy. The Hugo from Lost plays a dude who sits in his car and eats mushrooms the whole movie. That's his only, and then he drives the car at one point. That's the only reason that character showed up. And then there's like a racist, ultra-conservative teacher and an English teacher who knows a lot about science because he got stabbed in the head with an ice pick when he was a kid.
Yeah, okay.
There's like 2 kids they rescue. They get almost no character development except for the fact that one of the kids was a really good kid at the beginning of the movie. You don't hate him, where you kind of particularly hate most of the other kids. He was fine. And he's diabetic. That's all of the plot development these 2 characters get. One of them hit puberty, so she doesn't become a zombie, and the other one was really nice and diabetic. So they're just kind of shoehorned in. The ending was particularly bad. I'm going to spoil it. I'm sorry. It came out in 2015. If you guys want to see it, I'm telling you, the ending is a spoiler, but like not really a spoiler. So about 20 minutes to a half hour left in the movie, they get out of the school they've been stuck in, and they found that it wasn't just those chicken nuggets. The nuggets were distributed all over the U.S. So there's zombie kids everywhere. Things look bad. They burn down a school, and then they go, where are we going to go next? I don't know, someplace kids don't go, and then they all drive off in the truck. The end.
So they went to the pub?
I mean, I guess, but like, so they
no
end up
Neverland Ranch.
Here's an even bigger waste. When they first break out of the school, they drive into the next biggest town and they find out it's taken over by zombies. A bunch of kids try and ambush them, so they run into a building, and lo and behold, it's like a Bambula, Chuck E. Cheese, jungle, kids play place kind of area that's literally filled with zombie kids. A twist happens, 2 characters show back up that you thought were dead. Oh, there's also a kung fu janitor. So there's that. His name's Tatachi. Do with that what you fucking will. Those characters show the fuck back up. They have squirt guns full of gasoline. And like all the kids are just sort of stuck in the jungle gym. Like none of the kids really leave the jungle gym to attack all the humans. They're just in the jungle gym staring and making noise. A few of them run out and get sprayed with gasoline, and they burn down the building. Then they all just drive away. The end. Nothing's really solved. There's like even some plot threads, like some romantic entanglements or some people finding things out. Yeah, we don't really get closure on that. That just is where it was. The end. Bye.
This feels more like a pilot to a show than a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost feel like they were really like, don't worry, guys, we got a bunch planned for number 2, but then like they just really didn't think about number 1 very hard. It should have been better. Like even my wife, who's not really even that big on like horror comedy stuff, was like, this really should have been better. Everything about this was lined up to be really good, and somehow they just didn't drive it home.
They shot the bed.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot really going for it, and then they just didn't really go for it. So
maybe they got scared.
I don't know. Cooties, I mean, I guess check it out. There's got to be an audience for this, and maybe if more people see it, we can get like a better straight-to-video knockoff that happens every once in a while. Yeah, have you seen that? Like every once in a while, you see one of those straight-to-video movies, and you go, oh, why was this straight-to-video? This was actually good.
Yeah, there's straight-to-Netflix stuff that's that way.
I hate to admit this, but back in the day, me and Eduardo, for whatever reason, really, really enjoyed drinking and renting National Lampoon movies.
Really shitty movies, yeah.
But there were like a 2 or 3 that we were like, oh, this was actually like booze aside, we could not drink this and watch this. And I think for a few of them we did. And
Yeah.
yeah, like they held up. They were actually just kind of fun
Good
little
movies.
rom-com kind of things. Like
Yeah.
at least as good as American Pie.
Some of them better actually because
Yeah.
it didn't feel as forced.
Yeah, no, they had so yeah, Cooties, I don't know, I guess check it out. Yeah, a rating, I'll give it 2 giraffes out of 5.
Okay.
It had some good concepts and it had some great performances for what they were. It just didn't really do anything.
Well, and I made the comment, like, it seems like Elijah Wood, ever since he did, you know, that one movie that everybody fucking knows him from, he's just kind of doing low-key... Yeah, he's just doing low-key comedies. Like, maybe he just doesn't care anymore.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think he's just kind of like trying to just paint like a non-fantasy persona, but that persona just tends to be awkward guy, which he does well. And I mean, fuck it. If you're going to get paid to do something that you know you do well, fucking ride that pony into retirement. I'm not going to fault somebody for it, you know? You think I
in
would sell out?
Swiss,
Fuck you.
Swiss Army Man, and that was pretty good.
That was Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Same
that
thing.
was Daniel Radcliffe.
It's not, and it was Daniel Radcliffe.
To be fair, though, it's an ongoing joke.
Yeah, apparently they do get confused for each other a lot, which I
Yeah.
don't. Other than just being like kind of nerdy white guys, they don't look alike.
No, they don't. So, you know what's funny? I actually had a guy who used to work for me when I was a supervisor at the hotels that looked just like Elijah Wood and would hate when people told him that. Like, if you really wanted to piss him off, you'd call him Frodo. It was pretty magic. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so you give it a rating, and it's kind of meh. All right, fair enough. Do we have time for one more thing? I actually kind of want to talk about this thing.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so there's a show on Hulu that it seems to be an older show that I just discovered that actually had me spit out my fucking drink a few times. Have any of you guys seen Toast of London?
Nope.
Never even heard of it.
All right, so do you know who Matthew Berry is? Matt Berry.
Yes, yeah, he's done like Mighty Boosh and IT Crowd and Garth Marenghi. He's actually in 12 Forever, which I reviewed a week or two ago.
Yeah, so he has a very iconic voice, and he's been in the new What We Do in the Shadows show, and so just popped up on my Hulu, and I think he's hilarious. I think his whole shtick on the IT Crowd was hilarious. So in this, he plays an actor. He plays an actor who's been just kind of doing really shitty things the last 20 years. He hasn't quite caught his big break, but he really pretends that he's better than he is. And the character's name is Stephen Toast. So Toast of London, and it just shows the life in this poor kind of like poor actor's life, where even his agent just kind of doesn't believe in him and sends him to do shit jobs. One of the running gags is that he does voiceovers for a bunch of things in London. So like the Mind the Gap guy, or we're redoing all the voice prompts on the nuclear subs. So Periscope down, Periscope up. But the whole shtick is he's sitting there doing voice acting lessons, and they brought him in. They were gonna pay him a lot of money, but he only has one line, and his line is yes. So he sits there, and they go, all right, whenever you're ready, Toast. And he goes, yes. And then he looks at them, and then there's like the producers, and they all like talk to each other and then hit the button and talk to him. They're like, can you do that like a little happier? And he goes, yes. And they keep giving him, like directions, and they go, try it once without a script. Really just free yourself. And he's like, yes, It's one word. I guess I don't need the script. And then what's funny is that before he's about to say, he like peeks at the script and puts it away. But they try to give him so many directions at the end. He just goes, yes, 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 yes. And he starts crying, and they're like, Toast, are you crying? And he goes, yes. And they go, thank you. And so they do very different ones. The different people giving him different jokes. And they always, another running gag, which is really good, is they always say, oh, here's a insert famous person name, and they only ever show the back of that person, and he'll just wave and be like, hey, Fassbender, and then just walk through. Or like, so it's like, oh yeah, all these famous people are totally doing cameos, but with just the back of their heads. So it is really funny.
What is this called? Say it again.
Toast of London.
Toast of London.
That sounds pretty good. I might watch that tonight.
Yeah, I'm always on the search for a good British comedy. Like I've reviewed it here before, Black's Books and IT Crowd, Spaced, like any of those. I'm always on the lookout. I think this is my next British comedy obsession that I'm gonna just see it all the way through. It's got 3 seasons or 3 series, and they've talked about doing a 4th or maybe doing a movie, but it's been a couple years. I think 2017 was the last they were talking about, and the creator was like, look, we're probably going to do another thing with this character. We're just not sure yet. And actually, this was written partially by Matt Berry and Arthur Matthews.
The name sounds familiar, but I can't pull up a face in my head.
He's written for Father Ted, Big Train. Like there's a couple. He's been around. But I would give this a 4.5 IT crowds out of 5 IT crowds.
Wow, that's actually a big rating from you.
It's got a lot of really good stuff, and some of the running gags are hilarious. Just, I don't want to say too much because I really think you should go and enjoy it yourself. But there's some characters and some of the women that he meets that tend to be a bit quirky, and it is fucking amazing. And just, it is a very British show, so just keep that in mind. And more so, it's very London British. So a lot of you might, like, I had to look up a couple of things to understand why that was funny. And then I was like, oh, okay, I get why that would be funny. But I think it's great. So, yeah, check it out.
All right, fair enough.
And that brings us to round about the time, unless anyone's got something quick they want to talk about.
Fog of Love board game. Check it out. Pick it up. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, there's that.
Burger.
And that's Devin's last words. Got it. Check us out Tuesday nights, 7 to 9. We do multiplayer night on twitch.tv/Metagame Network. Also, check out Bias Bros. It releases
every other Thursday at 7.
There we go. I always forget. I always fuck that one up. Also, if you want to catch the show live on YouTube, we are in 5D on YouTube, and we are live Mondays about 7 to 8 p.m.
Pacific Standard Time.
Sure, that one. And if you don't catch it live there, I always post the videos. There's a couple that are missing, mostly because the audio was probably fucked up, or we did something really naughty on them, and I can't publicly post them. But you can listen to the audio. Catch us on iTunes or Podbean. On that note,
I don't know. I just like advertising that one.
bye.
YouTube's. See ya.